True human development calls for a transformation of self, each of us exercising our power to effect change through our way of thinking, feelings, lifestyle, consciousness, and actions. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkins and welcome to today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Coming up on the pages, residents of bauxite mining communities putting reclaimed lands to sustainable use. Also, see what's in store at RADA's Agri Marts, where authentic Jamaican value-added products are being marketed. Later, we'll examine a fast-track approach to eliminating HIV and AIDS as a public health threat. Stay tuned for all those and more right after these messages.
Stop. Think before you burn. The dry season is on, so there's little to no rainfall and wind speeds increase around this time too. What if the fire you light gets out of control? Where would you get the water to out the flame? Why not try bagging up waste and putting it outside for collection? If you absolutely must burn, construct a fire break by clearing an area around the site to be burnt. Use water to wet the perimeter of the brush being burnt. Burn in small piles and be sure to burn one pile at a time. If no water is available, ensure you have some dirt to douse the fire. Remember, take stock of yourself and think before you burn.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health.
There is an outpouring of pride and joy among residents of bauxite mining communities in St. Anne as they earn from mined-out bauxite lands. We have more on this kind of development next.
Bauxite mining is a profitable venture for Jamaica and other countries, but the effect on the land can be rough. Locally, steps are being taken to restore mined-out lands to productive and profitable use. The mining communities of Wat Town and Tobolski in Water Valley St. Anne are shining examples of the possibilities. Scores of farmers there have been benefiting from water harvesting and greenhouse technology, allowing them to earn from the land.
I feel very good, and especially when we are reaping.
Yeah, feel good about it and thing, you know.
The citizens who have formed themselves into groups are setting the trend for other communities to follow. Communities like those that will benefit when Transport and Mining Minister Mike Henry fast-tracks the transfer of ownership of mined lands to citizens for housing, agriculture, and other purposes.
I'm going to see how much I can step in to work very closely to ensure the handing over back of land, the handing over back of titles, and how that can relate to increasing the agricultural output in relation to it.
That policy is encouraged by the level of agricultural production at Wat Town and Tobolski.
People who are buying are happy with the product because the reliability is so important.
The farmers have been supplying the hotel and supermarket retail sectors and are overjoyed at what they have been able to achieve on mined lands which were previously idle.
This is an opportunity for all of us here in this community because we have never seen anything like this before. We produce tomato and sweet pepper and we are doing well.
When you compare it to outdoor farming, this is actually a lot more than outside. Most of the young people want to come in now, so we would like some more rows to put up.
Mining pits on the properties have been transformed into rainwater harvesting ponds, which provide a reliable supply of water for the plants in the greenhouses. Over 8,000 kilograms of produce were supplied in the first 4 months of the project at Wat Town.
I want to tell you that we have 20 farmers that is benefit from this greenhouse. 20 farmers. And right now we are having a lot of tomato and sale. For now we have at least almost 17,000 pounds of tomato supplied. Well, the pepper, as you see it, we have order for the pepper, but it's only ripe pepper they are taking now.
Similar initiatives are also established at other communities affected by bauxite mining, including Schwallenberg and 9 Miles in St. Anne, Content, Blue Mountain and Rose Hill, Manchester, and Myersville in St. Elizabeth. They have all been supported financially and technically at an overall project cost of $243 million through the Jamaica Social Investment Fund's Rural Economic Development Initiative at the Jamaica Bauxite Institute.
I am very pleased to see that even though farmlands have been used for bauxite mining, a way out has been provided for the farmers.
Beneficiaries of restored bauxite lands are encouraged to make the best productive use of their properties. And with major developments in transportation on the horizon, the Transport and Mining Minister says farming on these lands will get more lucrative with easier access to rail, road, and air cargo transportation.
So what I want you to appreciate is the vision that I'm seeking to bring in the connectivity of farming, transport, and reaching there.
Supporting sustainable development of communities on lands which have been mined, promoting self-sustainability and integrating mined-out areas in national development.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Part of keeping our roads safe is ensuring the vehicles we drive are mechanically safe, meeting all roadworthy requirements. And besides that, we must be good drivers and avoid risk-taking and sensation-seeking behaviors which are prone to causing road crashes.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Tough yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast bread fruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. This November is Eat Jamaican Month, so let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
RADA's Social Services and Home Economics Unit has been assisting rural women and other groups to develop value-added products from primary agricultural produce. These are traditional, new and unique Jamaican products that are spurring the growth of small agro-processing enterprises. What are some of these products and where can you find them? We'll tell you that in this feature.
Women in rural and urban areas have been tapping into lucrative, value-added food markets. Utilizing the services of the Home Economics and Social Services Unit at RADA, they're processing and packaging excess fresh produce from the farms.
We go into the areas and whereas the extension officer would be helping the farmers to grow the crop, the Home Economics officer help in the utilization of the crop. So therefore, in terms of using things one way, when we teach persons to use things in a number of ways, we teach home economic skills.
We give them the skill so that they can do it the same way all the time, getting a consistent, good product, quality product that can compete with other products. So we help them with the technology, formulation, we help them to source suitable packaging material, and to help them to label the products.
Farming, man's earliest occupation, has proven to be one of the most important tools for alleviating poverty and advancing development. And with food processing added to the mix, the scope for employment and wealth creation is more certain. RADA has established the Agri Marts store to support some 98 farming groups involved in small-scale food processing and cottage industry.
That's what we try to do, to help them to produce at a price that, would allow them to compete, because, that we have imports and we have big producers, but there's still a place for the smaller producers who, as you said, produce unique products.
This first Agri Mart, located on Hope Road in St. Andrew, provides a wonderful opportunity to promote and market whatever members of RADA groups produce.
Our customer base is like householders, business people, residents in all parts as one of the surroundings. We have a lot of those people. People traveling would come in and buy souvenirs, and just workers, a lot from the ministries.
One of the things about Agri Mart is you not only find things from St. Andrew, it is RADA, so you will find things from all over the island. For instance, you have here a jelly, it comes from in the hills of St. Andrew, it comes from Dallas. It's a pineapple jelly. And you have other things. This is from St. Thomas. It's a tamarind sauce that is made in St. Thomas. You have pickle here, we come as far as St. Mary. So when you go over through the Agri Mart, you will find different items from across the island. This is our local pancake mix. It's made from cassava and it's produced from Twickenham in Twickenham cottages, and this is a RADA group. This is different from the regular pancake because it's made from cassava, so therefore it would have more nutrients, more beneficial to the body. And we are accompanied by syrups, the different syrups. We have 3 types. We have guava, apple, and mango. And the good thing about these syrup is we utilize what we grow, so therefore it's not flavor, it is the fruit itself that is used to make these syrups. Preservation is one of our main areas because you have to utilize what we have. So therefore, if there's a glut, we find ways in which we can utilize, so therefore persons don't lose out. So winemaking is a technique that we teach our ladies. As I said, jams and jellies, another method of preservation. This is also a means of generating income. And you can see here the packages are lovely. Packaging is important. This is guava. We have guava and tamarind here. And over there we have pepper jelly, we have tomato jelly, different means of utilizing what we have. That's a key concept, utilizing what we have and eating what we grow. When you want a bit of Jamaica, the Agri Mart is one of the places you can come to because there's a bit of the old here.
There's a long-distance relay that's still on. Many have taken it this far, each leg as important as the next, each challenge faced with determination. Now it's your turn to take the baton. People living with HIV and AIDS and those who are vulnerable need your commitment. It stands in the way of a better quality of life for all of us and our self-respect as a region. It stands in the way of victory in the fight to stop the spread of HIV. Reject stigma and discrimination. Get us to zero.
A fast-track approach to eliminating HIV as a public health threat is being proposed by the UNAIDS and adopted by Jamaica. It's a development goal set towards achieving an AIDS-free world by the year 2030. Let's find out more.
An AIDS-free world by the year 2030. It's a vision that Jamaica shares with the world through the leadership of the United Nations.
The goal that was set by the UN and accepted by the global community is not out of reach, my friends, but it will take unprecedented levels of collaboration. All hands on deck. Government, communities, and the private sector. We will all have to band together to support this extraordinary push to end our epidemic at home.
The Jamaican government has long recognized stigma and discrimination to be a major barrier to HIV/AIDS prevention and treatment, as well as the care and support of people living with the disease. So the state has been working to address this and similar challenges such as gender inequality and gender-based violence by promoting greater equity, inclusivity and human rights for all. Development of a workplace HIV policy, for example, sets out terms and conditions designed to ensure that every person living with AIDS is respected while trying to put a cap on transmission. An important component of the work is the building of leadership capacity at the community, district and national levels. Increased awareness of the issues through continuous sensitization programs and improvements to the healthcare system is giving people with HIV/AIDS a new lease on life.
35 years ago, the world saw the first cases of what would grow to become the HIV/AIDS pandemic. In the 1980s, diagnosis equaled a death sentence. Today, people that are diagnosed with HIV/AIDS are able to live longer and, more importantly, to access necessary medicines and treatment.
In moving from a standalone HIV response, government has created a new integrated national HIV/STI sexual health policy and strategic plan. Service delivery has been integrated through the creation of the National Family Planning Board's Sexual Health Agency. That agency serves the needs of Jamaicans in a more comprehensive and efficient way, providing guidance, leadership, advocacy, and the implementation of quality, equitable sexual health education and services. It has the role of building social cohesion among people living with HIV and key population leaders, and enhancing the coordination of policies and programs across sectors. While the Caribbean region has the second highest HIV prevalence in the world, with Jamaica the highest prevalence among English-speaking Caribbean nations, the country has been making progress. The Ministry of Health's data reports an estimated 1.8% of adults ages 15 to 49 are living with HIV. This amounts to an estimated 32,000. Introduction of antiretroviral ARV drugs in Jamaica has resulted in HIV-positive persons receiving treatment and proper care, which allows them to live as long as someone without the virus. Deaths related to the disease have decreased by 43%, with treatment reaching that same percentage of persons infected with the disease. It is believed that if the country is able to treat all persons who are HIV infected, it could reduce the prevalence rate to almost zero by 2030.
From 2000 till now, you've halved the number of new infections, and also from the same year, you have come from 10% transmission of mother to child to 2%, which is almost getting there.
Once persons are treated and their viral load is undetectable, they are considered 90% less likely to transmit HIV compared to someone who is not treated.
If you are on therapy, you are protecting a partner by 96%. Even, higher than or closer to what a vaccine would do. So starting people on therapy is paramount. Starting people on therapy will help us prevent new infections.
A 2020 timeline has been adopted at the United Nations in a fast-track approach, which proposes to achieve some targets towards eliminating HIV/AIDS as a public health threat. Prevention, treatment, and stigma and discrimination are to be the areas of focus.
For the treatment component, we have inviting countries to achieve what we call the 90-90-90. That is identifying 90% of the infections, providing therapy for 90% of those who have been identified, and keeping with viral detection at zero to the last 90%.
Abstinence and safe sex among young people are being promoted through sexual education. Sex education not only helps to prevent HIV and other sexually transmitted infections, but also supports other development matters, such as the prevention of teenage pregnancy.
In our work to put youth and adolescents at the heart of the HIV response, it is critical to recognize that the efforts, especially those channeled towards education, awareness, and personal responsibility, will ultimately translate to the development of individuals who are better equipped to make good decisions and positively contribute to their families, communities, and nation building.
Getting to zero is everybody's business, a target we can reach by addressing the clinical, cultural, and behavioral attributes that fuel the prevalence of HIV and AIDS.
Stop! Don't turn a blind eye to child abuse, child neglect, and child labor. If you know or even suspect child abuse, call the Children's Registry. Together, we can make a difference.
Up next, top stories making news this week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. National Security Minister Robert Montego this week revealed that government will be pumping billions of dollars in the crime-fighting effort over the next 3 years.
We will do so because it will be the greatest investment ever in this country. We will invest because we want a safer Jamaica, safer communities, and safer homes.
Minister Montego was making his contribution to the 2016-2017 sectoral debate in Parliament on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort says government will be seeking to amend the Bail Act and several other pieces of legislation in a bid to curb the country's murder rate.
Right now, the sentiment is that no bail for murder unless self-defense arises on the Crown's case and the likelihood of an acquittal is high. Mr. Speaker, we are also thinking of abolishing jury trials for non-capital murder and go judge alone.
The Attorney General was also making her contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament this week. Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressed several issues of importance to Jamaica as he represented the country at this week's 37th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in Guyana. He announced intentions to deepen bilateral relations with the members of CARICOM through country-to-country talks.
We are pleased to be negotiating a joint commission agreement with Trinidad and Tobago, through which we hope to develop a mutually beneficial cooperation program. We intend to undertake similar initiatives with other member states.
The Prime Minister also addressed the treatment of Haitian descendants in the Dominican Republic, regional trade, and the need for a referendum on whether the CCJ should replace the UK-based Privy Council as Jamaica's final court of appeal.
Our position hasn't changed. We believe our constitutional arrangements require it.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has named the 23 members of the recently established CARICOM Review Commission. The commission is tasked with reviewing the effects that Jamaica's participation in CARICOM has on its economic growth and development, among other things. Headed by Chairman Bruce Golding, the 17-member team with 6 officio members includes members of the private sector, academia, financial analysts, and diplomats. Government has received $3.79 billion from the World Bank to further boost disaster and climate risk management in Jamaica under the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, DVRP.
The loan will be repaid in semi-annual consecutive and equal installments on January 15 and July 15 each year, beginning on January 15, 2023.
The DVRP will help enhance Jamaica's resilience to disaster and climate risk by improving the capacity of government agencies to generate and use hazards and risk information, make the national infrastructure more resilient.
In the meantime, government has launched a youth environmental advocacy program, YEEP, to raise awareness among Jamaica's youth about the importance of the environment. It will engage high school students in interactive participatory sessions with government officers who work on national policies and programs related to the environment.
We have targeted you through this YEEP program because
You have an important role to play in addressing and affecting the issues that challenge environmental preservation. And it is you who will benefit from the initiatives that we undertake to preserve the environment and the natural resources of this beautiful country.
The Petroleum Company of Jamaica Limited, PETCOM, has been sold for $2.3 billion to local retailer Phoenix Fuels and Accessories Limited. The new owners now have full control of the shares of PETCOM and real estate assets that were used or operated by the company. Meanwhile, the minister with responsibility for water has indicated that government does not intend to fully privatize the National Water Commission, but will instead ensure that a significant amount of NWC shareholding is in the hands of Jamaicans through the stock market.
This government is a firm believer that Jamaicans should have a real stake in their assets. Therefore, a significant amount of a company like the Water Commission could be put on the stock market. This does not mean absolute privatization of the NWC. The public, represented by the government, will have controlling interests, but individual Jamaicans will have a stake in the company.
And finally, the Andrew Holness-led administration has established a one-stop shop for improving the social and physical environment of communities across the island.
As a multi-sector intergovernment agency, the whole program will offer a range of services to its targeted beneficiaries, as well as opportunity for the submission of project proposals from members of parliament, community-based organizations, and participating agencies.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And this is where we take our leave on yet another enlightening edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, or our social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to take care of your health, eat well, exercise, get adequate rest, and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.